Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and also welcome to the government scheme session. The scheme that we are covering today, it is asked by you all to for me to make a scheme on and lecture on. So see, the name of the scheme is GOBARdhan scheme and its full form is Galvanizing Organic Bioagro Resources Dhan, and it is a very important scheme because see, currently the government it is focusing on the sustainable resources of energy, right? And we are moving towards organic agriculture, and that is why this scheme is very important for any examination that you are preparing for. So all the static details and the news is what the recent development of the particular scheme is we are going to understand. But before starting the session, there's a huge announcement for all the aspirants who are preparing for central regulatory bodies. We have come up with one stop solution guide for all the aspirants who might have confusion regarding the organization they want to join, and if they want to join, what shall be their responsibilities and duties, how to enter the organization, what are the different phases, what is the syllabus, are they eligible or not. All your queries, whatever you have in your mind, everything has been jotted down with proper comprehensive explanation, as you can see in these guidebooks. So you can download these e-guidebooks free of cost from the link that is provided in the description box below. Okay, so let's start with the session and let's understand the term galvanizing organic bioagro resources. Dhan, of course, it means some money, some wealth. It can be said at wealth. Okay, and when we talk about galvanizing, it means something that stimulate an action or effort. So here we are talking about, see, we have a huge amount of organic waste that is produced in farming sector. We are talking about crops residue also, we are talking about the animal waste also, and as well as, of course, we can understand at home also there's a organic waste that is generated. But what happens, because we don't know how to utilize that, so such kind of waste, it is not utilized. And not only that, but it also creates pollution. For example, there's a huge methane that is produced by these organic waste, right? So if it is a direct contribution and a major contribution to the greenhouse gases which affect the earth temperature, right? Apart from that, the diseases, they can be developed in such kind of waste and can be transmitted to humans by various vectors, for example mosquitoes, flies, etc., right? So here, that is why the government they came up with this scheme. So here, to stimulate the whatever organic bio resources that we have, to utilize them for various purpose. Okay, for example, first of all, it will reduce pollution, right? We will understand why the scheme objective behind the scheme, it will reduce pollution. Apart from that, it will reduce the greenhouse gas emission. Okay, it will provide us with natural resources, natural, you can say natural, you can say organic, you can say bioresources. For example, this material can be used as a manure, it can be used in as an electricity, as a fuel. It can be used as an electricity fuel. How? I'll just show you in next slide only. I'll show you how this is going to do. Okay, so see, basically what happens, whatever waste that is generated either by livestock waste or by crops or by waste water that is generated in especially in rural areas we are talking about, and the food waste that is generated at home, everything is collected and then kept at a digester. This is anaerobic in nature. What does it anaerobic means? There is no exchange of oxygen inside this particular chamber, you can say. Okay, so what happens, the anaerobic bacteria, they feed on it, and we know this is a natural process, that whatever natural thing it is there, it decompose after a certain period of time, and these are decomposed by certain bacteria. Here we are talking about anaerobic bacteria. Okay, so see, whatever waste that was generated, now it is then subdivided. Once it is digested, it is divided into two component. One is the gas is produced, and second, the solid waste that remains. Okay, now this gas is known as biogas. Bio means organically formed, okay, and it is a gas, it is biogas. It does not have harmful gases in it. For example, sulfur, carbon dioxide, it does not have. It do have methane, but then it can be utilized, and it is a pollution free form of fuel it can be used as. Okay, and the solid part, it is known as what? It is known as slurry. Whatever the decomposed part that has been left, excluding whatever gas that has been generated. So whatever decomposed part it is left, it is known as slurry, and it's quite rich in nutrient and can be used as manure in the farm. Okay, so it is also important. So you're looking at that everything, whatever waste that is generated, it is utilized in a much efficient way. Imagine if this was not utilized in a such a way, it just got wasted in the environment, right? Gas is releasing in the atmosphere, we're not properly utilizing it, right? So that is why this concept of GOBARdhan, it is to utilize the organic waste that exists, but we just don't know how to use it. And in fact, this will also create a side source of income for farmers. How? Because see, initially the waste whichever was generated, they used to just throw it out. But now if they will follow this particular scheme and they will generate this wealth, they can sell it further also. Okay, in fact, they can utilize in farming also, which will reduce their cost, or they can in fact sell it to the outside also, to the outsiders also, right? So this will be generated. Biogas can be used in electricity to generate electricity to as used as heat. Methane can also be used as fuel. From this, I hope you all remember FAME scheme, which we have already covered, and if you are following the sessions, you can find this in the playlist of government schemes. And here, the digestate, which is the slurry we are talking about, it can be used as a fertilizer, soil amendment, livestock bedding. For livestock bedding also, we require some sort of organic material. We can in fact utilize it like that, because this is the most decomposed form. It won't decompose further, so it is not going to harm with any sorts of diseases or anything with to the livestock. Okay, now let's talk about the basics. The launcher of the scheme is 2018, and it falls under the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. It might be confusing because you know the kind of scheme and the objective it has, but it falls under the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation only. All right, now let's come to the aim. So the aim of this scheme is to ensure cleanliness in villages by converting bio waste into resources. So here we are talking about how, see, the the environment, it will become pollution free, right? Cleanliness will be promoted in villages, because we are actually not throwing away the waste, we are collecting it, and also we are converting it to bio waste, into these bio waste into resources that can be utilized for various purpose. Now when I talk about the objective, it is to support villages safely manage their manage. So basically the first objective is to manage whatever waste that is generated. It will be started with cattle waste, we are talking about, then agriculture waste, the crop residue we are talking about, and in long run, if you talk about all the organic sort of waste which is generated at home as well. To support communities, because in villages we have different communities, right? So this we talked about at individual level, which can be done. To support communities convert their cattle and organic waste to wealth using decentralized system. What does it mean? It means again the same thing. First of all, we were talking about how they can actually utilize manage the waste that they have, and then to convert in it into wealth by if, see, for example, if somebody is doing all the things that are under Govardhan at home only, so the resource that will be generated, that will be sufficient just for a family. But if as a community this will be done, so more you can take it as a concept of Amul, right? Cooperative, where everyone, when they come together, they came together, they collected their milk. It was so the amount was so large that it could be sold outside, right? Similar concept. So if community will come together, the waste that would be generated, the wealth that would be generated after that, that can be sold outside and profit can be made out of it. Promote environmental sanitation, we are talking about sanitation, and curb, to that is to reduce or to restrict what vector borne diseases. Vector means these are carried, these diseases are carried, so the carrier are known as vectors. For example, mosquito, right? So it's not like mosquito in itself it carries disease, it take it from some waste or some other person, and then they inject to some other person body. Similarly, flies, such these insects, they are known as vector. And this Govardhan scheme, it will promote sanitation and it will curb vector borne diseases. Convert organic waste, especially the cattle waste, to biogas, we have understood, and fertilizer. This is the slurry we are talking about, right, for use in rural areas. Okay, so these were the objective. Now let's look at the principle, that is to aggregate. The aggregate means collect the cattle waste and convert it to biogas. Okay, first principle is this, and this will can be used as a fuel for domestic purpose or for industrial use as well. Okay, when the quantity is huge, it can be used even in the for the industrial purpose. Now this bio slurry, I hope by now you know what is slurry. As a byproduct of biogas process used as biofertilizer, so this will be organic, so this will not harm the environment. It would be much cheaper cheaper, because if you're going to buy these organic manures from outside, no, it will be a little bit costlier than the normal fertilizer, the chemical fertilizers, right? So but you're getting it at free of cost at your in your own farm. Actively involve the community, SHG or self-help groups and milk cooperatives in operation and management, of course, because the waste that will be generated for them, these cooperatives and self-help groups and community, they will be actively involved in the operation of this GOBARdhan, the setups of this anaerobic chamber that we have studied, right, and its management as well. Focus on making the process economically viable for all the, what is value chain? So basically this is the chain that follows value chain. It keeps value chain is that particular chain which in each step some value is added to the product. Okay, so it is going to make it economically viable, because see, everything that you are doing, the waste, it is free of cost for you, right? So whatever process that will be added, it will be economically viable, and all will be connected. These SHGs, milk cooperatives and other such organization, they will be connected, and it will be beneficial for everyone. And of course, entrepreneurship for large scale production and compressed biogas and biofertilizers are also there. See, we have to look at two things. First of all, revenue will be generated for the farmers who can sell this, and also see the chambers and whatever these anaerobic chambers that need to be set up, or the components for that also, we need some industry, we need some organization that would be actually selling it or setting it up, right? So for that also, there's a good opportunity for especially for the people who want to engage in agriculture sector. Okay, to make these in the biogases and biofertilizer chambers also, and of course it is going to help the farmer. So that is also one thing in the form of entrepreneurship. Now what are the benefits of this? Reduction of greenhouse gas, because methane is in large quantity is released from this organic waste. Okay, now this can be utilized as a fuel. Okay, this will be burnt as a fuel, so it will not harm the environment, it will not directly go into the environment. Boost to entrepreneurship, we have understood how. Promotion to organic farming, because of the bioslurry that will be formed, right? Bioslurry, biofertilizer, manure, whatever you want to say. Reduction in import of crude oil, very important, because see, currently the price of these crude oils are constantly rising, because we are dependent on the foreign countries for its import. And we have understood, we have learned a important lesson from the Ukraine Russia war, that we can't be dependent on other countries, because if something happens there, everybody is going to suffer, right? So that is why it is going to reduce the import of crude oil. There are dependence on it, and of course by this again I'll say FAME scheme is very important. When this particular we are studying about the reduction in import of crude oil, you can find this in the playlist of government schemes. Effective biodegradable waste management, of course we are effectively managing the biodegradable waste. Employment opportunity for the local community, right? They can start up their business. What they can do, they can just collect the waste. If for example there's not much proper land a particular farmer has, what they can do, the group of people, they or if you can do it alone, whatever startup who are starting this particular new business, they can just go to these farmers, they can buy their waste, the waste that is produced in their farm at a much cheaper rate. Okay, and then they can you do this process under GOBARdhan scheme, and then they can sell it, right? So this can also be done. So it is an employment opportunity that you're looking at. Additional income for farmers or local village community, we can understand how they can sell it further. Now see, there are four important project models. Okay, there are total of four important project models depending on the size of the community or the people that will be involved. So it is very important to understand. First of all, it is individual household adopted by household which have three or more cattle. Okay, so three, if they have three or more cattle, they can go for this project model of individual household, where the biogas that will be generated by these chamber or the biogas process can be utilized for cooking, so that is for home purpose only. And the slurry that is generated can be used as manure in their own field. If we talk about community, so in community now we are involving more households, so it is somewhere around 5 to 10 household. Okay, and here we were looking at three or more cattles, we were not looking at three or more household persons. We were saying if they have three or more cattles, in they can generate enough fuel to be used at for their household cooking. Okay, but if the community now is large, we are talking about 5 to 10 households, so of course there will be people now needed for it. So operated and managed by the group partnership or the self-help groups, the gas generated can be supplied. Now we are talking about supplied. Initially we were utilizing, but now we can supply it to households, restaurants, or institution. For example, whichever five these 5-10 households they have made this they are under this community project model. What they can do, they can either distribute the pipelines for of utilizing this biogas in their own home, or they can give it to the restaurants or institutions as well. And the slurry, it can be used as community by the community as organic manure, of course, or can be sold to farmers. Next is about cluster, because it is not necessary that in rural India everybody would be a farmer. Then there is a project for cluster. So now it will be the number of house installed in number of household in village group of villages. So now it increases the number of houses. Biogas can be used in the households only, and slurry can be collected and used as biofertilizers. Commercial, now we are talking about commercial. CBG is your compressed biogas. Compressed biogas, what does it mean? That currently whatever gas it was generating from the chamber, we were directly utilizing this that particular gas through the pipelines for our cooking purpose. Okay, but now in compressed, what will be done? These particular gas, the gas that will be generated, biogas, that will be compressed and then kept in a cylinder. Now this cylinder can be further distributed to industries or some other areas and can be utilized later on. So it's kind of, for example, we have CNG cylinders, right? We have normal LPG cylinders at home. These are also compressed natural gas, right? And liquefied petroleum gas. So similarly, these biogas will also be compressed by the entrepreneurs, cooperative societies, Gaushalas, Rashtriya Gokul Mission we have also studied, right? So raw biogas produces compressed, whatever the biogas that will be produced, that will be compressed and can be utilized for vehicular fuel only. Again, FAME scheme, very important. Okay, and sold to industries. Then slurry generated can be converted into organic manure, of course, even if they don't want to, but in this biogas process or the biodegradation process, slurry will be generated. Now this can be used for organic manure or as an biofertilizer, we can say, and can be sold to the farmer. So for entrepreneur it is a good opportunity. So that was all about the scheme, and this is the news of latest of 2nd February 2023. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs signed MOU to develop waste to wealth plant in million plus cities. Here we are talking about, see, it is an important line. Data can be used. 500 new waste to wealth plants will be established under GOBARdhan scheme for promoting the circular economy. Circular economy means whatever the waste that is means everything it is circular in nature. This will include 200 compressed biogas plants. So in this 500 new waste to wealth plant, we are talking about 200 compressed biogas plants, 75 in urban areas and 300 community or cluster based plants. So we have already studied community based plants. We know, so that is similar, only cluster based plant at a total investment of rupees 10,000 crore. A very important news from the examination point of view. And see, I have added this one link. You can find this link from the PDF that you will get in our Telegram channel. You can join the Telegram group from the link that is available in the description box. I would suggest you to go through this link. It is the official framework of GOBARdhan scheme, and it is just 5-page document. You need not to study all. The section that I want you to just have a look at, there are different names of the models that are suggested in it, that which type of models can be made according to the space that is available. So different names have been given. I just want you to be just aware of those names, so that you just have an idea that if asked in examination you can have a pretty much guess. Okay, so do go through this framework of GOBARdhan scheme. And this is a homework for you all, that which of the following statement is correct with respect to the scheme that we have just talked. You have 5 statements, you have to tell the correct answer, and these are the toppers of the last session. See, option 4, yes, indeed was the right answer. Vishal, welcome. Option 4, Priya, yes, answer is right. Ranjan is said right. Satish and Rishabh also said right. Krishna said right. Venkat said right. But Rahul, see, you said the right answer, that for A was wrong, okay, because it said about the incorrect statement. You said okay, A is incorrect, and then you said for B, graduates are eligible unless they are engineers. So in that it was written all the sorts of categories of graduates and technicians are involved. So if you know the answer, that second statement is also dubious. So answer, you should have known that it is option number 4, because you know the reason, right? So you should be careful. It should not be like you know everything but still you you know, you can't you are not able to handle the questions in examination, that will be it, that is going to be a drawback for you. Okay, so that is all in this particular session. I have a lot of suggestions that are given to me. I will make videos on that, but apart from that, if you also want me to make any video on the YouTube community, do let me know in the comment section, and I'll definitely take into consideration. And we'll meet again with another video on important government scheme. Until then, all the very best for examination, and thank you.